Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rebel Racing Network and the Hardline Transport Solutions Rebel Truck Series. And tonight we are taking on a fantastic field, a big old field, as we're going to get ready to cut off 4 drivers. I'm Eddie Smith. I got in the booth tonight Daniel Cunningham. Daniel, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, Eddie. Looking forward to this race here tonight. I think it's going to be a good one with the points battle we got going on, and especially with some strategies we might see with the tire sets and fuel runs tonight.
Yeah, 12 drivers in the playoff tonight, though. We're cutting them off down to 8. So it's going to be a tight battle. We got 2 drivers cut in as we pull up. I'll pull this up real quick as we get ready to qualifying just almost over, and we'll look at the playoff standings. Dylan Bates, Sean Cool, all locked in already. So we'd only have 6 spots to fill, Daniel, as we get this thing wrapped up. Just a few more races left in this season, and it has been a fantastic season. Richmond, how you feel about Richmond? What do you think about Richmond in the trucks there, Daniel?
It's going to be tough for these guys tonight. Richmond's always really hard on tires, and that's going to be the name of the game tonight. Track position's going to be important. I'm actually sitting here watching some of these guys in qualifying that are slipping and sliding around, and especially on cold tires, restarts, you're going to have to get everything you can get, and it might lead to some interesting situations tonight.
Yeah, and short tracks, always interesting race. We got some really good short track racers in here tonight, but if we talk about the track, Richmond, it's only 3/4 of a mile, so it is a perfect track for racing, especially in this truck. And it's going to put on a show, man. We're going to have guys all over each other all night trying to make passes, and I think we'll see the top line work. And of course, we know all about Richmond. 14 degrees in the turns, opened in 1946. And you think about just so many historical races. I think back to Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon. They were going back and forth in a couple different races, wrecking each other here at Richmond. And also, I mean, you got to think back, your driver and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Went back and forth here. So, man, a lot of history in this track, and I think we're going to make some history tonight.
I think so. And one of the other races that I actually got to see in person here way back when was Kevin Harvick and Ricky Rudd, when Ricky said he's got that little yap mouth, and Kevin jumped over the top of his car. So tempers could definitely flare here. We'll see if any of that happens tonight on the track with these guys.
Yeah, looking at the back of the pack standings, something that Matt Clemens been doing, and so it's cool to check that out. Corey Bigley sits atop that thing, so even though you're not in the playoffs, you still got something to race for, and it shows why so many people show up during the playoffs. So back of the pack champion continuing to be fought over as Corey Bigley Jr. leads that by just a few points. So it's not he definitely doesn't have it locked up just yet, and that'll go to the end of the season. As far as race analysis, we talked a little bit before the race about that. And 150 laps here tonight, 4 total sets. It's kind of back and forth on whether or not tires will mean much. But 80% fuel, and fuel run about 80 laps tonight. So it'll be, it's going to be, if we got some long runs, which Richmond can do that, I think we're going to see pit strategy be a big part of it. Being fast, having really good speed, that's one thing. But you need to start up front. You need to have no mistakes on pit road. And that's exactly what these guys are going to try to do. All right, well, let's go ahead and pull up the grid. And I'll start with the top 10, and you go from there, Daniel. Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner is going to go to Corey Bigley Jr., back of the pack, current points leader. He takes home Chuck Pegleg Pole Award as we start the Jeff By Jr. Art starting lineup. Michael Kostic going to have the outside of the front row. Starting row number 2 is Jonathan Cofield and Sean Cool. Row number 3, Kieran Church in the Velocity Motorsports 22 Chevrolet. Outside of him and starting 6 is Elliott Carlson. Starting 7th, Tracy Passons in the Haviland 53 machine. And then outside of him in the Velocity Bass Pro Shop 78 is Cody Bain. Starting 9th, Eric Tracy and Matt Telder.
Starting at 11th, we've got Greg Barnett and Brandon Pollock outside him in P12. Got Dylan Bates and Andy Kurtz starting 13th and 14th. Next row, we've got Matt Kleeman and Mickey Isaac in 15th and 16th. Matt Knights and Brandon Wallace, 17th and 18th. Start 19th, Josh Oswald with Alex Viethan 20th alongside.
21st, Spencer Gay. Daniel Pope starts in the back, 22nd. 23rd, James Nelson. 24th, Kyle Roberts. 25th, Curtis Sabrin. And starting 26th is Mike Veith. Tommy Osborne starting 27th, Gary Wright in 28th. And that rounds out the Jeff Bott Jr. Art starting grid as we are getting ready to go green here with Corey Bigley leading the way as the pace car comes off of turn number 2 and we get ready to go green. Well, 150 laps to see who's going to make it into the round of 8. You know, it's really hard to argue against those that are already locked in as being, you know, obviously championship contenders and folks that we're going to look at going forward. But as we pull up the list here, we got some people that are out. You see some blank names there. Charles Stevens Jr. and a couple other drivers not here tonight. You see Sean Cool, Dylan Bates locked in, but Michael Cossack, Jonathan Cofield, Daniel Pope, those drivers right around that number 8 is going to be what we're going to be watching. So not too much drama there as we get ready to go green. Only one driver here that's going to be fighting for that position.
Yeah, but even still, with that being the case, it's still tight around that bubble, so have to see what happens with that tonight.
Yep. Green flag is out here at Richmond, and Corey Bigley with a pretty good start. Michael Cossack fighting pretty hard on the outside.
Yeah, these two going at it early here,
Cofield
trying to start out.
Yeah, Cofield almost had a bad situation there as he goes, gets a little contact with Sean Cool.
Yeah, he did a good job hanging on to that, especially on cold tires. Easily could have looped it in front of the field there.
Yeah, but a good start. Got a battle for the lead, though, as Michael Cossack looking to take the lead on the inside. Michael Cossack able to get that position, go by Corey Bigley, and that's going to bring Sean Cool with him.
Yeah, Sean fighting. Looks like he may be able to clear Bigley down into turn 1 and 2 here. Going to be hard on the brakes, try to drive it in and slide up in front of him. Cofield's looking underneath of him for 3rd place now.
Yeah, an amazing job by these guys to go green so far.
Yeah, a good recovery from Cofield after that little incident on the first lap, that he's still up there fighting and still going for it too.
Yeah, Sean Cool there right on the back bumper of that number 8. Of course, he is locked in. He doesn't really need to get up there and battle too hard. So Sean can get up there and maybe just, you know, he could go for wins. It doesn't really matter, but he doesn't have to fight too hard. He can just kind of hang out and ride for a while. Now, somebody we'll be watching out for who started towards the back that's not entirely locked in. That's Daniel Pope II, who I expect to see up front before the end of this thing. But you know, not a very good starting position for him, so he's got a lot of work to do, and maybe not too much time to get it done, only 150 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him, but he's really good on short tracks. We know that he's fast everywhere, but short tracks especially seem to be within his wheelhouse, so it's going to be fun watching him fight his way up through the field here tonight. Yeah,
we do have a report that Charles Stevens Jr., a reason why he's out, not feeling well tonight, so he is out. And unfortunately, you know, I hate to say it, but that's gonna end his playoff run. So, but we definitely wish him well. Obviously, health comes before racing, so if you're not feeling well, you know, it doesn't really matter about a dang championship. So.
Yeah, and we hope you get feeling better soon, Charles. Hate that you couldn't be here tonight. So if you're watching and you see this, we hope you get feeling better, bud.
Well, so far so good for Michael Cossack, who has a really nice lead. Jonathan Cofield now to the inside of Sean Cool, trying to make that pass, and not quite able to make it. That top side in 3 and 4 looks pretty dang good. Let's see if they can get that done.
Yeah, especially once you start to get a few laps on the tires, you can really make that outside line work and just try to keep your momentum up. And I mean, at that point, it's really on the guy on the inside trying to drive it in a little bit farther and try to clear him. But Sean's doing a really good job here of hanging with Cofield and definitely making him work for it.
Yeah, I mean, might as well just have fun. That's what I say. Get up there and just have a good time and race hard. That's exactly what they're doing. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. And like you had mentioned, I mean, Sean's locked into the next round. I know Michael Kostick and Jonathan Cofield aren't technically locked in, but they're in a pretty good point spot too. So they know that they can really go out and even though they don't necessarily need the win to advance, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Eddie, but I believe when the points reset for the next round, they do give you a bonus point or 2 bonus points per win in this round to go towards the next round. So that could make the difference in advance into the championship 4 or not.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they do that. Every series seems to do that just a tad bit different. So yeah, I mean I'll lean on you for that because I have no idea. Yeah, I mean that could be an important thing. Oh, as Elliott Carlson's going to go around, and caution is out as the 09 goes spinning down the backstretch, and we have our first caution of the night.
And our first caution involving one of our playoff drivers. We had been talking about it, that it is going to be close on that bubble, and Elliott running into some trouble early here.
Yeah, let's go check it out here on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. As we look, Tracy passes another playoff driver, goes down to the inside, and it seems the contact is going to happen here off the corner. And as they come off the corner, I don't understand that. I mean, I'm going to be honest. We've had some really bad netcode. Now, of course, is there any reason to be this close this early in the race? I don't think so. But, I mean, that's netcode if I ever seen it. And I don't understand it. That's the slightest contact that anybody could get, and it just throws the cars around, and just annoying. I mean, it's a tail slap from Elliott Carlson, but Tracy Passons is pretty tight off the corner down the straightaway, and I mean that's frustrating because I honestly don't feel like they did anything wrong. That little bit of contact in real life would have been fine, but in iRacing it's a different story.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. You can't really blame that on anybody there. I mean, just 2 guys going for the same piece of real estate, and even at the end of the day, there was a foot in between them, and iRacing said you're both going into, you're both making contact on this. So that's definitely unfortunate for both of them, and something you hate to see in any situation.
Yeah, and it looks like Elliott Carlson did take his fast repair, so I hate to use that early, but if you think it's going to affect your performance, it's probably not a bad idea. So probably not a bad decision out of him. Go ahead and take that fast repair, get reset, and get back going in this thing, and get refocused for this the rest of this race.
Yeah, definitely. Best thing he could have done in that situation. Looked like he had pretty significant damage over on the right side of the truck, so good idea to come in and go ahead and get that fixed, and then from here you just got to say a little prayer and hope you don't need another one.
Yeah, and looking at the standings now, of course, those 3 drivers who are not here tonight, Jonah Colbert, one of those, Charles Stevens Jr., and I'm blanking on the last one.
Travis Beaver looks like
Travis
it's our
Beaver.
other.
Yeah, so they weren't going to make it either way, and so they're out. Not sure why the names don't show up, but either way, you look at Elliott Carlson after that incident, he is out of the playoffs. So, I mean, that's a big swing for that driver of the 09 machine.
Yeah, that's a huge swing. The only thing that I guess you can look at as a positive if you're him is you got a lot of people in front of you that you can pass and try to make it up. And we know that all the guys on their team are really good and really fast, especially at the short tracks. So he's definitely not out of this thing yet. He might be behind the 8 ball, but he's definitely not out of it.
All right, getting ready to go back green.
Got the Bandits drivers on the front row bringing us down to green here. And Michael Costa gets a really good jump on that restart.
He sure does. We're going to crank it up a little bit on this restart. All right, well, a pretty good start there for Michael Costa, who pulls away as we've got Sean Cool, Jonathan Cofield, Cody Bame, and Corey Bigley. And then right behind them, we got Tracy Passons and Kieran Church side by side. Passons, oh, we got somebody in the wall, like Matt Telder got a little bit of the wall off of turn number 2.
It looked like he just got a little bit wide and got into the wall a little bit there, but it's like everybody's able to continue. No cautions or anything coming out, so no worse for wear for some of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, somebody's all over the place. That looks like Brandon Pollock, who maybe gets a little bit of the wall or just scared himself. I'm not real sure which one it was, as he really yanked it off the wall down the back straightaway, but seems to be in okay shape now. I don't really see any damage, so I'm not really sure what that was all about.
Yeah, and some of these, we did talk a little bit about tire wear earlier in the race. I mean, I know we did have that caution to help cool the tires down a little bit, but they've got right around 20 green flag laps or so on their tires now. So if they didn't take care of it early on, they're definitely going to start to feel it here soon.
Yeah, it looks like there was some contact between Sean Cool and Jonathan Cofield. Try to go back and maybe find that.
It looks like Cofield might be struggling a little bit here. He got passed by Sean for second. He's dropped back to third behind Cody Bame, and Corey Bigley's right behind him now too.
Yeah, not good. Not good for that playoff driver. Let's see if we can go on board with Jonathan Cofield and see what happened. We'll check it out here on the picture-in-picture. On board with Jonathan Cofield. As coming off the wall, Sean Cole gets into the wall, and Cofield with nowhere to go, already committed on that exit, and I think that's where the majority of that damage came from. So not a good way to start for some of these drivers. You don't want to get that damage early like that.
Yeah, and he's definitely got some pretty significant front end damage, and with the way that the trucks are with some of those hits, I mean, you just never know. You've seen trucks where you plow into the back of someone and it doesn't seem to damage it at all, and then other times where it seems like you do a little tank slap and it gives you engine damage. So
yeah,
something to keep an eye on with him with this truck damage model that we got.
Yeah, it is weird. iRacing still got a lot of work to do. It's a great sim, but still a lot of work to be done on that front, especially in the trucks. Well, Michael Kostick with a 1.8 second lead here on lap 27. We're clicking them off pretty fast. We got battles all over the place. Checking in on Daniel Pope here. He is on the inside of Andy Kurtz in that unsponsored 05 Chevrolet. So Daniel Pope trying to get the biggest mover of the race, as he is up 14 spots from where he started.
Yeah, we knew that he wouldn't stay back there for long. He's done a good job of working his way through the field. Like you mentioned, he's up 14 spots from where he started. Looks like he's getting ready to go to work on trying to get around Telder here too.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, we talked to him a lot during the week, and just talk about how they love short tracks. So anytime that they come to one, they are always extremely confident. And so that confidence, man, really translates a lot of times. As you see Mike Veith there down on the bottom, gets on the apron. Everybody goes around him, does a great job of kind of getting out of the way. He actually looks like, honestly, Mike Veith looks like he's crab walking a little bit there, Daniel.
Yeah, it looks like he got into, I think he had a little incident with someone earlier and actually got some damage with that. I believe it was the 54 truck. That he got into and had some damage from that.
Yeah, Kyle Roberts down on pit road as well. So, Kyle, some guys having trouble early getting into some damage. And look, Kyle's taking his headset off. He actually, I don't know if he's calling his doctor or his dentist. I don't know if he chattered his teeth or whatever, but he's like he's sending a text message. And as his crew's going to work on that machine, he takes his fast repair, so he's making a phone call. Kyle!
You never know with Kyle. He might be calling his wife, asking him to bring a beer into him while he's sitting here on pit road right now.
What is it? I don't know who he's calling. He's calling in a favor on somebody. I don't know what he's doing, but man, he's making a phone call out there while he's sitting on pit road. Truck looks like it's in good shape, so I don't know what's going on, but Kyle's taking a break. He's wore out after 32 laps here at Richmond. It just shows how difficult it is to race around this track. Let's go up and check this battle right here. Mike V comes back out on the track right in front of the lead cars again. He's got a new truck, so he is going to be racing hard. But, man, somebody we haven't really mentioned just yet, Cody Bain, and that Velocity 78 machine. You know, a lot of people, I hear some rumblings, man, and a lot of people are picking this 78 machine as the dark horse, maybe favorite for the championship. And I got to say, man, I don't disagree. He has consistently been really, really strong throughout the season. He is in the playoffs. Would love to get up here and win, lock himself in, but I got to say he has got to be a favorite to get in that top four.
Definitely. I'm almost afraid to talk about him after what happened last week. I said what a great job he was doing, and then immediately gets caught up in a wreck. So,
yeah.
Fingers crossed that I don't jinx him again this week. But, he's really consistent. He finds a way to bring the truck home in a good spot. And even last season, I mean, he made the Final Four last season when we ran this series. So he definitely knows how to get there, and he knows what he needs to do to advance his way through these playoffs. He could surprise some people and make a run here at these guys.
Yeah, currently sits about sixth in the standings. No wins on the season. That's one thing that he's kind of lacking. If you're going to say, why wouldn't Cody Bain win? Just hasn't been able to get that win. As just they're hard to get here. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, while some of the other guys, SPM guys, have gotten those wins, they've been kind of hogging them. But tonight might be a good time for Cody to step up. I know he's really good at short tracks, so I'm looking for that 78 machine to make some noise here at the end of this race and lock himself in.
Yeah, definitely, and you're right. It's not easy to win in any series that we have, but especially, I mean, from the way that I look at it, this series, Rebels trucks, top to bottom, has got probably the best overall talent in it out of every Rebels series, and that's not a knock on any of the other ones. There's just so many guys that you can point to and say, they could win on any given week, and it would not be a surprise whatsoever, and that includes the 78 too.
Yeah. Well, let's see who else we got on cam tonight, as looks like we've got Matt Clemon, another guy that's got his camera going as we watch. He's currently running in the 17th position. He's dropped a couple spots from the start of the race, but this is the head honcho here in the Rebels Truck Series. Oh, you see a little contact up there. Guys trying to avoid. Looks like maybe that was that Pope and the 43 of Brandon Pollock, Dylan Bates, and Kieran Church making some contact with Mickey Isaac. So some trouble right in front of Matt. But Matt did a great job this season, took over. I think he's been running maybe a couple seasons here, but obviously the most successful series currently in Rebels, in my opinion, as it constantly puts 30-plus drivers and 30 really, really good drivers in the field. So, big props to Matt. Does a lot of good work. He don't take any crap, and he puts on a good show.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and especially, I know we did the back of the pack championship in a lot of series last season, and Matt was one of the ones that I think he might be the only one that actually continued it this season. I can't recall if Arca's doing it or not, but he makes sure that these guys that aren't in the championship still have an incentive to show up, and it definitely shows with the car counts that we've been having. Like you said, having 30-plus guys every night, and that just keeps things more interesting for the playoffs, too. Mm-hmm. These guys have more people that they've got to go out and race against, and if you have a bad night, it hurts you a lot more than if you've only got playoff guys plus 5 or 6 more showing up.
Yeah, I mean, just so many good things that he's done for this series, just overall has really taken this series to another level, so... but he looked like he's pretty calm here tonight. Currently running in 17th, able to avoid that issue. Got Eric Tracy right in front of him, looking to maybe grab himself another position. Well, out front, it is all Michael Kostick, who has a 3.2 second lead over Cody Bain in second place, and he just continually extends that out. Cody a little bit faster every once in a while, but it's going to take quite a while for them to catch up to him. And we don't have too much longer. We're just over half a fuel run here, so they're going to have to find some speed and get caught up to him quickly.
And that's one thing that I was looking at, Eddie, just now, just to see, how far have the tires fallen off. It looks like they're only falling off about a second or so. So I'm thinking that most of these guys are probably going to try to run it, maybe not 100% of the fuel run, but they're going to try to run it as long as they can. I don't think that you would be able to two-stop it if it goes green and make up that extra time from the pit stop.
Right. Yeah, and that's yeah, exactly. That really dictates that. And yeah, you're right. I mean, the best lap for Michael Kosick was 22.1, and his last lap was a 23.3. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how what decision they decide to make. I mean, it's going to have to fall off a cliff sometime soon for you to try to do some kind of crazy two-stop strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we've seen it work in other series. Like I know Daniel Pope raced with us in the Cup Series once and pulled an extra pit stop and made it work at Iowa, I believe it was. And the tire fall off was just so high in those cars. But it just seems like with the trucks, maybe it's just that they don't have as much power as the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars that we're not seeing it, or it might just be the track conditions too. But yeah, just not falling off quite as much as I thought they would over the course of the run tonight.
Go and watch this battle between Jonathan Cofield and Sean Cool. These drivers made contact a little bit earlier and seem to just consistently be around each other. Yeah, this is one of those tracks that's really hard to pass. As here come, almost got it. Sean kind of pulls down just a little bit, but Cofield gets down to the inside, and Daniel Pope is right behind him. So Pope up 16 spots where he started, looking to make it a few more. Sean Cool is being sort of a menace up there on that top line. He's doing a great job of making that top side work. Seems like it's tough to pass, man. It seems like it takes you a couple laps to set somebody up, then a couple laps to actually complete the pass.
Yeah, it definitely can get that way, and especially with Cofield, I'm impressed that he's able to complete this pass here with that front end damage that he's got. So, whatever it did, it's not slowing him down a whole lot here. I mean, he's still able to run with these guys and make the truck work. So, good job by him too of recovering from that.
Yeah, Cofield, one of those drivers that I think has got to be, in your top four. I mean, if you're gonna fill this out, I mean, if we're looking at the championship standings every week, it's just so ridiculous because atop the standings with the win, they're locked in. Sean Cool, Dylan Pates, but they have been some of the fastest drivers. Not like that they lucked into a win and now they're locked in by luck by winning, which is a crazy thing to say anyway. But they have been two of the strongest trucks all season long. Michael Kosick, we know he can get it done. Daniel Pope, of course, has got the most wins of the season. Jonathan Cofield, Cody Boehm, Andy Kurtz, Elliott Carlson, and Tracy Passon. So, I mean, all those drivers are just insanely fast. So to cut, some drivers out, man, it's just tough to see. I guess I can go ahead and lower that right there because it doesn't matter. Because that's your cutoff point right there. Tracy Pass is currently 2 points out of the playoffs. Elliott Carlson has been able to work himself back up into the 9th position, and after that incident, able to get himself back up into contention. So now Tracy Passons, who's right in front of him, who they make contact with, he's out of the playoffs right now, so he's got some work to do.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too if that even though Elliott did have to come down and take his faster pair, maybe having those tires that are just a little bit fresher. I mean, I know it's not a huge difference, but that might be helping him fight back through the field. He was fast before that happened, but it definitely seems like it hasn't hurt his efforts any trying to get back up here, and he's closing in on Tracy to try to build that gap a little bit more. Yeah,
I mean, Elliott's another one of those short track guys. So it doesn't surprise me too much that he's able to navigate this track pretty quickly. So, just making quick work of it. Didn't look like he took tires that last that stop that he made. Not really sure. He was on pit road twice, but he definitely took that faster pair, so I don't know what he's dealing with right now. I don't know if he's on a set of tires or not. You would think after spinning out you would take it, but with only 4 sets, you know, who knows. Getting right to the back bumper, though, Tracy Passons. And he's going to look down to the inside. Ooh, gets a little squirrely there. That was a weird entry, but Tracy going to just move over and let him go. Contact between each other, that's respect right there to say, hey, look, you know, I caused that earlier. We kind of got together here going by, you know, let you go. So Tracy taking care of Elliott there and just letting him go ahead and go.
Yeah, like you said, respectful move on Tracy's part after you have contact. The last thing you want to do, especially when you're fighting for a playoff spot like that, is have contact again, and that be what ends up dictating who gets the cutoff and who doesn't. So, you know, kudos to him for just letting this race play out at this point. But it looks like he's struggling a little bit right now too with the handling of that truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to go down pit road, I'm sure, and get another set of tires. He looks like his is really hurting on entry and center, so he's putting a lot of wheel into that thing. Let's go on board with him and see. See, he's really having to slow down. He's got that wheel turned all the way over. And Daniel, talk a little bit about that wheel placement. Why does it matter where that tape is right there? He's got it all the way over to the left side, 90 degrees. Why does that matter?
Yeah, that right there is just telling me that he's really fighting a tight condition in that truck. He's having to crank a ton of wheel into it, and it's a vicious cycle. You know, the more you have to put more wheel into it to get the truck to turn, but when you put more wheel into it, you're just burning that right front up and making the condition even worse on it. So, not sure if maybe he just went a little too hard early, or what may have happened, if maybe he had a little bit of damage from that contact with the 09 earlier. But he's definitely fighting that truck right now, and I'm sure he's ready for this pit stop that's going to be coming up shortly.
He's about to lose quite a few spots as all those drivers around him for position, and you can definitely tell he's kind of, in a way, holding them up. And that sounds bad, but that's exactly what he's a little bit off the pace, and these guys are just kind of trying to get around him. And he's doing a good job trying to hold these guys off. But, yeah, not looking good for Tracy. He is on the outside looking in at the moment, and he's going backwards. So, going to have to dig down deep, find some pit strategy, maybe throw a Hail Mary at the end of this race and try to get a good finishing position. Right now, though, just fighting as hard as he can to maintain that position.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, with pit strategy, we're about 5 laps or so away from these guys being within their pit window, that if it does run green to the end, that they could potentially make it without having to stop. You know, maybe running green to the end might be a little bit optimistic to think that may happen, but, you know, these races, you just never know how they're going to play out. So if you're Tracy, if I'm sitting where he's at right now, I think I'm going to try to do the opposite of what everybody else does. If it seems like they're going to come down early, maybe run it a little bit longer, hope you catch a caution, get some track position. You know, if it seems like that they're going to maybe try to run it out on fuel, maybe you undercut them a little bit and see if you can jump some guys, and never know how things might work out for you.
Yep. Yeah, they're running all up on. I don't know what's going on in front of them, but Dylan Bates has kind of come back to this group, so he's got some contact as Andy Kurtz is into the wall. So I don't know what happened up in front of us while we're talking about Tracy, but Dylan Bates has some major damage there. Try to go back and try to find out what happened to him.
Yeah, you're right. Back end of the truck is definitely caved in, so I didn't see what happened up in front of him, though, so some pretty significant contact there.
Yeah, we'll continue to look at that while we watch this battle between Sean Cool, Kieran Church is up there. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and it looks like Sean's actually already come down pit road once in this race, so he's on fresher tires right now. I don't think he's going to be able to make it from where he's at, because it looks like he pitted quite a few laps ago, actually on
55.
It's like on lap 55. So I don't think he's going to be able to make it. Maybe he's going to try a 2-stop strategy. I mean, he's locked in, so you know, what do you have to lose if you're him? If you feel like you can't win on a 1-stop, that's really all you're going for tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter for him. He's locked in, so he can do whatever the heck he wants to. We'll check this replay out with Dylan Bates. This is when that Mickey Isaac, Kieran Church incident. You see just just a accordion effect there as Mickey Isaac gets a little bit loose, and that's where that damage came from Dylan Bates. So that's what he's fighting with right now, as he's falling all the way back to 11th place with that damage.
Yeah, Tracy's still struggling a little bit here too. It looks like he's dropped back to 13th at this point of the race. And yeah, you know he's got to be ready for that pit stop or for something to kind of break here to try to break what's going on for him.
Yeah. Going back up front, Corey Bigley is out front. Well, not up front, but he's in second now. He took over the second position quite a few laps ago from Cody Boehm, and Michael Kosick still pulling away from these guys. But Corey Bigley, non-playoff driver, making some noise up here along with Matt Telder in the top 10. So Corey out here fighting for that back-of-the-pack championship, and he's got something to prove, I think.
Yeah, and Corey's somebody that, you know, you can never count out of any of these races. He's always fast whenever he runs. You know, he's always a threat. So he's about 3.5 seconds, maybe about a little more than that now, behind Michael Kosick. But, man, Kostick's just putting on a clinic tonight with these boys so far.
Yeah. I mean, those guys they're dealing with lap traffic at the moment. He's got sort of a clear track, but yeah, Kosick didn't play around. He got out to the lead early and has just not looked back. So you know, in my first initial thought, I don't really consider Michael Kosick a short track type of guy. When I think of Pocono, that's when I think of Michael Kosick. I think of obviously road courses. He's amazing at those, but you know, short track, Richmond. You know, I don't know. There's just something about this track I just wouldn't pinpoint Michael Kosick, but man, he has come prepared tonight as he is. I mean, he's making everybody look bad out front.
Yeah, he's maybe he had a little bit of extra fire in his Jack Daniels or something before this race, and that's helped him out a little bit. I mean, the flames on the truck have got to be worth at least a couple tenths a lap. So, you know, that's got to help out a little bit. But yeah, he's just going to town on this field tonight. I mean, got a big lead right now. He's pretty much been in control of this entire race. So, and I'm with you. I don't really think of him as a short track guy. I mean, he's always in the mix. But I'm with you. I think of road courses. You know, I think of intermediate like Atlanta, a track like that. But you know, something that he's really good at in every vehicle though is saving tire and managing his stuff. And you know, even though the tire fall off's not quite what we thought it would be, it's still a factor here at Richmond. So that does play into his strengths though.
Got pit stops going right now as Daniel Pope has come down pit road. He's getting 4 tires and fuel as pit road is wide open. We've got Eric Tracy, Curtis Sauberin, James Nelson, Tracy passes, Matt Clement. I mean, it is everybody is down pit road. So it is time to do it. I mean, it's over halfway, so you can make it to the end here. So I expect to see pretty much everybody come down pit road, unless you're Michael Kosick. I just don't think. I don't know. It's still about a second and a half faster to be, and Michael Kosick is coming down pit road. So.
Yeah, it looks like he saw those other guys peeling off, and you know the good thing about the position that he was in with the lead that he had is he can just kind of react to whatever they're doing and stay on the same strategy. Because right now, I mean, that's the only way that they're going to get around him is strategy or just something weird off the wall happening. I mean, he's pretty well got this thing in control right now, but still a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, you want to push it as long as you can to make sure for that, you know, that caution doesn't trap you a lap down or something like that. But, you know, once enough of the top 5 or 10 come down pit road, you know, that's pretty much a good time to go ahead and do it because you're going to be on the same situation that they are. So, you know, I think he did a good job calling it when he did. We'll see where he comes out. That gives the lead over to Matt Telder, who is coming down pit road now. And so Elliott Carlson will stay out, hopefully get that bonus point for leading, and that will give him that extra little bit in the point standing. So Elliott Carlson staying out a little bit longer here. He made up a ton of spots there after that incident, and so now he is trying to take advantage of it. Looks like he might be coming down pit road here. No, he's staying out on the track. Of course, he's only he's only on a 67 lap stint. Him, Dylan Bates, Matt Knights, those guys could go a little bit longer than the guys that were just coming down pit road. So they've got about, I would say about 12 more laps.
Yeah, they could definitely stretch it a little bit longer here, whether or not they took tires on that first caution or not. I mean, they definitely at least put fuel in the truck, so they can go a little bit longer here. I mean, the only downside of it is they have fallen off quite a bit on lap times, especially compared to all those guys that have come in and made their stops. So how long do you want to run it? I don't necessarily know, but, they put themselves in the spot to be able to try something a little different here.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Elliott Carlson, I'm trying to make my way through the field. I mean, right now, 9 cars on the lead lap, and here comes Jonathan Cofield to make it 10. I think it's a halfway decent strategy. You got guys coming out on cold tires, get loose, and your whole complexion of your race will change if a caution comes out. I mean, for Elliott Carlson, if a caution comes out in the next 5 to 10 laps, he'll be in a really, really good spot. For him to be trying to recover and fight his way back, knowing he's got the speed, it seems to he's just trying to wait for that caution and see if that helps him out. I mean, it'd be a huge swing in track position for sure.
That's a good point. And especially from his perspective, I mean, really his race right now boils down to him versus Tracy Passons. I mean, he doesn't have to win the race. He doesn't even really have to finish top 10 necessarily. I mean, he just has to finish essentially right in front of or right behind Tracy Passons, and he's going to advance to the next round. So
that's right.
I'm sure that's probably part of his thought process here too, is, even if I stretch it a little longer, I may lose some track position if it goes green, but can I still catch the 53 truck to make sure I move on?
Yeah, and right now Tracy Passons well out of the top 8, as he is currently running in the 16th position with Elliott Carlson out front. He jumps to 6th. So obviously that's going to change once Elliott pits, but we'll see. We'll continue to monitor that throughout the race. Now, something I will highlight, Sean Cool did come down pit road about 32 laps ago. We kind of talked about how early he came down pit road. Actually was ahead of Michael Kostick when Kostick came out, but man, the number 8 is really slicing and dicing through this lap traffic. He's already put 2.4 seconds on Sean Cool, as Michael will cycle back around to the lead once the front 2 pit, and he is just continuing his dominance. I mean, really impressive stuff, man. I'm gonna be honest, I'm impressed. Michael's not the kind of guy to jump out there and just dominate a race. He's sort of the guy that hangs around in second and third and takes his opportunities when they present themselves, and I guess the opportunity presented itself on lap 2 or 3 when he took the lead.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of almost like a Kevin Harvick type. They called him the closer for the longest time, and that's kind of the same mentality that he seems to have. Like, I may not go out and lead every single lap, but I'm going to be there at the end and find a way to throw myself in the mix. But I mean, tonight he's just throwing them up on the dash and going all out on this field.
Yeah, and even with the caution right here, it's still in great position. So, man, when you can go out there and you can lead by a ton of laps, you see Dylan Bates there in that 91 coming down pit road, gives up the second spot. When you can go out there and lead by 4 or 5 seconds, it sure does alleviate pretty much anything else in the race. How hard you have to race lap traffic, how hard you have to do just about anything. When you pit, all that stuff just is so much easier when you have a massive lead. The undercut just doesn't work, because you have to undercut enough to clear 5 seconds, and that's damn near impossible. So, when you go out there and you can set the pace that he's doing, man, it sure does make things a whole lot easier. He can be a lot more patient here with these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely, and even more so than that, even just more than this race. What does that do for you moving forward to the next round? If you go out here, we've been talking about the SPM guys being so fast, and then you come out here and really just make a statement at a race that we kind of all had them penciled as the favorites for. You come out here and that's got to give you a little bit of swagger heading into the next round.
I want to see how the SPM guys are going to respond. Now, we're assuming that it's going to end like this. We don't know how the race is going to end up. And actually, Michael Kostick's starting to run down the leader. Man, look at the traffic out in front of him. Elliott Carlson up there in that blue and that light blue and yellow. Oh, there's a wreck right in front of him. Curtis. Oh, my goodness. Scary moment as the 54 of Curtis Sauberin goes around almost half a save or half a spin, and he saved it as he made contact. And boy, that was scary, Daniel.
Yeah, and right in front of Michael Kostick, as we were talking about how well he's running this race. And that's the thing that you just never know about in these races is something going to happen right in front of you. Not that I mean, not that you ever want to wish ill on somebody or anything like that, but you just never know when you might have some lap cars get together in front of you like that and just no place to go, wrong place, wrong time. So, good heads up driving by him there to be able to miss that.
Yeah, looks like the 38 of Greg Barnett maybe having a little issue with the 54. I don't know. We're on board with the 38 here. And just kind of stuck trying to get through this lap traffic. He's looking down to the inside, and Curtis is there and just drives down the corner and just gives him a little bit of, hey, how you doing, and just rolled on. So not sure if that was from earlier, if that was any kind of like issue from earlier. I don't know, but good save by the 54.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so hard to tell without being able to see telemetries and stuff like that. Did the 54 check up somewhere that maybe he hadn't checked up previously, or done something a little bit different, or maybe even just got a little loose or something in front of him, and that's what led to it. But yeah, definitely some good heads up driving by everybody as Michael Kostick's having to negotiate some pretty heavy lap traffic right now.
Yeah, and all that right there really hurt his lead. I mean, he had a really nice lead, but look, Cody Boehm right back behind him, along with Daniel Pope and Corey Bigley and Jonathan Cofield. So all this right here that's been going on is now really hurting Michael Kostick. You see the cluster of drivers all around him, and him having to check up for that. I mean, they were catching him slightly, Cody Boehm and Daniel Pope was, and then after that little incident where he had to really get off the gas and get on the brakes, man, that really drew those guys in. So he's going to have to get clear of this lap traffic, get back into a rhythm, or they're going to get him quick because they're right behind him. Oh, the 54 goes around again. Sitting backwards on the backstretch. No caution, though.
Yeah, looks like he's off the racing line. We'll see if that's going to bring one out when he pulls back up on the track. So it's definitely going to tighten everything up and change the complexion of these last 50 laps or so here, Eddie.
Yeah, tough last few laps for Chris is. We'll go back and check the Kinder Farm and Ranch Records Rewind, see what happened to him. But looks like the 64, Matt Knights, is behind him. The 54 is just going to get loose, and nothing that Matt Knights could do there. And 54 kind of just spins across his nose and brings out the caution. Yeah, like you said, no caution was coming out until he spins back up out on the track, and they had to throw it then. So.
Yeah, definitely nothing that Matt did wrong there or anything like that. Just wrong place, wrong time with the 54 spinning like that and getting loose in front of him.
Yeah, so 23 laps on these tires. I think man, I'm surprised to see Kostick coming down pit road. Wow. Did not expect that. That's probably the right move with 50 laps to go. Somebody's going to come down and pit, and that would be the end of your race. I'd rather be on the attack than trying to play defense against new tires. But I really thought somebody would stay out there. But so far, it looks like everybody coming down pit road.
Yeah, I think that's the right call if you're Michael Kostick. Like you said, you want to be on the attack. You don't want to have to try to defend somebody else. And, I mean, they're still going to have, one more set of tires or two more sets, I think one more after this. So, you've got 50 laps left and you got two tires sitting in the pits. I'd definitely come down and take a set here.
So, that being said, Sean Cool and James Nelson in the number 7 actually stay out here. Sean Cool is now coming down pit road now. I was going to say he's got 48 laps on his tires. It can't be something he planned to do. So I don't know what's his decision. May just wanting to get out of the way, knowing he's locked in. Not real sure, but he comes down the second time and going to make his pit stop, and so does James Nelson. So that should give the lead back over to Michael Kostick. So 45 laps to go here. Going to have about 40 2 or so whenever we take the green, I believe. So Garrett Kinder in chat says, is Kyle Roberts still on the phone? He's not on the phone. He's still in pit road. He's been on pit road for 30 minutes and 40 seconds now. So he's either got the slowest pit crew, the worst guy with a hammer you could ever ask for, or he is just sitting here watching this thing. But
or that pizza place put him on hold and forgot about him. That might be the only other thing we can think of for that one.
Yeah, Kyle's eating something. It looks like he's got some sort of Oriental. It might be some ice cream. I can't really see what he's eating. Let's let the chat decide what is Kyle Roberts eating here out of this cup. It kind of looks like some ice cream. Is that what it looks like to you there, Daniel?
That's kind of what it looks like. I mean, does he have like an Oreo McFlurry or something? Like maybe Brandon Wallace hooked him up with some McDonald's gift cards or something, and
yeah.
Now he decided to use one of them. So,
I mean, it looks good. I mean, you know what? I'm fat enough that ice cream might make me sit on pit road if it's brought to me like that. So, it looks like just plain vanilla, which I'm just surprised. I mean, I wouldn't say Kyle Roberts is a plain vanilla guy, but that looks like what he's dealing with right there, just plain vanilla ice cream.
Hey, sometimes when you're hungry, you just got to eat. We've seen guys pull off on pit road for other reasons during the middle of the race. So, I mean, at least it's not some of the other stuff that we've seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really tell what cup that is. I mean, we'll continue. Yeah, it looks like a Sonic Blast is what Garrett Kinder says. I think that's a pretty safe bet. All right, we're getting ready to go green, though, as the caution is starting to wane here as we got a bunch of wave-around drivers coming around. And but right now, it's the 8, the 78, the 28, and the 58 there, Daniel, in the first 2 rows. And let's see, Michael Kostick got a great jump last time, and Cody's going to have to get there if he's going to do anything with that 8 machine. As if Michael seems to get clean track, it's hard to deal with. So both those drivers get away. Here comes Cody. He's got to run. Is he going to be able to do anything with it?
Yeah, if he's going to do something, he's going to have to do it quick here. I think once they get some laps on the tires, it's going to be hard to get around that number 8 truck. He's going to have to try to make some quick work and try to make something happen here.
Yeah, he is right on the back bumper, but Kostick, you just see he's able to get in. Oh, here comes Cody. He's getting right to the back bumper. Oh, it's just not able to get the run off the corner that he needs, but he is there. And, man, Cofield's sitting there waiting right behind these drivers. Here comes. He's going to give him a little bump off the corner. They go down the front straightaway. Not going to be there. He's going to try to just hold the position down on the inside. Cody Boehm right on the yellow line as he is trying to make that bottom groove work. But we've seen the top groove be really strong early on a set of tires. And the 8 able to hold him off on the outside. Here comes Jonathan Cofield on the outside to try to make it a 3-car battle for the lead. And he's on the outside of Cody. Cody trying to focus in on what's in front of him, but he's got to think about what's behind him, too. One mistake, you could find yourself in 3rd place. You make the wrong move at the wrong time.
You're absolutely right, but if I'm that 78 truck right now, if I lose 2nd place going for 1st right here, as long as I don't loop it, I'm fine with that. I know that I'm in a good points position. I'm not even worried about the 58 truck behind me right now. I want to try to go out and get my 1st win of the season, get that little bit of confidence going into the next round. He's doing a great job of hanging with Michael Kostick right here.
Yeah, he is. He's all over. He's going to look down to the inside again. Kostick trying to cover that pass. Ooh, it got close. That is real close. A few, 20 or so more laps, and there is none of that give and take. So right now, though, Kostick's best friend is that 58. They're teammates. Right now, Cody Boehm in a bandit sandwich right there. So he would love for one of his teammates to come up there and try to help him, but he is a man on the island trying to make this pass for the lead. He's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, he really is. We were sitting here having Michael Kostick penciled in as just walking away with this thing, and where it looks like Cody's really making up some time is in that middle of the turn. He's just able to roll the center really well and just close in on the bumper of that 8 truck. It looks like Kostick gets a little bit better run off, but of course, as I say that, Cody gets a run off of the turn there and starts to close in a little bit more.
Yeah, it seems like Cody's able to get power down and be a little bit faster, but just not able to get the position. The truck's just not power, don't have enough power to really drive off the corner. You know, if once you're on the throttle, you're pretty much on full throttle. You don't have any extra gas to give it, like maybe the Cup car or the Xfinity car, to try to, you know, make a run on somebody. But the truck's pretty much, once you get on the throttle, that's what you got off the turn. And Cody's starting to fall back just a little bit.
Yeah, and he's got Cofield breathing down his neck here too. So, you know, I mean, Cody had to do what he had to do. He may have used his stuff up a little bit earlier than he wanted to, and that's why he's kind of slipping back a little bit here. But man, you get down this close to the end of the race, and you've got the leader right there in your crosshairs. You got to go for it when you got the chance.
Yeah, I mean, him getting around Kosic's, based on what we've seen from the whole race so far, getting around him early was the best option. So he gave it a very, very solid effort. But, you know, last couple laps, man, Kosic is about 2/10 faster than the rest of the field. I mean, he hits his stride right around, you know, the 10th lap or so. And, man, he is really laying them down. We'll show the lap times up here on the ticker here, and you can see 22.476 for Michael Kosic last time. We'll see what it is this time. A little bit slower for Kosic. So, right as I try to highlight something, he starts to fall back a little bit. But
yeah, it looks like that last lap, Jonathan Cofield was actually the fastest out of the top three. You're still pretty close on lap times, all of them within about 1/10 of a second or so of each other. But see if Cofield might have saved a little something while those two were racing each other there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the tower, but we're missing 7th place, but the 7th place is Eric Tracy. It hadn't showed up on the screen all night long, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm actually going to restart ATVO, so we'll continue to watch this battle, but we'll get the UI back up in just a second.
Yeah, really good battle here between Cody Boehm and Jonathan Cofield. See, it looks like Cody's driving in just a little bit deeper. Cofield able to roll the center and close back in, and Cody gets the power down a little bit better. And just, it's one of my favorite things about Richmond in general is just that there are different ways that you can be fast here. Like, those two are so even right now on lap times, and yet they're driving the track completely different. Cofield's going to look to the inside here going down into turn one.
Yeah, I think Cody has used that right front up, and so now he's starting to struggle just a little bit. But he
Cofield
definitely gave it. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Cofield got in a little hot there. I thought he was going to slide up and make contact with Cody, but did a good job of keeping it off of him there.
Yeah, I think Cody did a Hail Mary there on the beginning of that run, trying to get around the 8, and it looks like the tires are starting to suffer. But he's got about a second back to Matt Taylor. If he can let that right front cool off just a little bit, take it a little bit easy, he'll be able to hold on to that position. But yeah, just I mean, he did what he had to do, man. Try to get a win.
Yeah, you're right. And all three of these guys are playoff drivers in first, second, and third right now. They're in a good spot on points. They don't really have to worry a whole lot about it. They came in with a pretty good gap to start with. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. You're that close. Go for it and try to go for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, while we got a little bit of time, let's go through the field. Let's talk about where everybody's at. Make sure we can kind of talk through some folks. Michael Kosic, of course, your leader. About 1.1 second back is Jonathan Cofield in that 58 machine. Hello? Okay. And then a few seconds, 0.7 seconds back from him is Cody Boehm, which we've talked about those guys quite a bit. Corey Bigley, your back of the pack champion currently at the moment. He runs in the 4th position, and with Matt Telder right behind him. Those drivers have been towards the front all race long. Short track guys, I expect nothing less. Kieran Church, who's kind of been in the top 10 all race long, and we saw him. He's been fighting around this position right here all night. So
just kind of had a quiet night for Kieran, but he's been hanging around. Finally works his way into the top 5 here tonight. So strong run for him and coming on good late here.
Yeah, Eric Tracy currently running in the 7th position. Sean Cool, who came down that second time, is running in 8th. And it looks like Daniel Pope, who just went around him, is actually a lap down in 19th position. So I'm not really sure what happened to Daniel Pope, but he is running a lap down. Andy Kurtz running in 9th. James Nelson having a great run in 10th in that number 7 Crutchfield.com Chevrolet. Tracy Passons has recovered, and we'll take a look at the championship standings right here where everybody's at. Tracy Passons 3 points out of 8th place, so he has got to find those extra spots. He's got to either hope for a caution, but he's done a nice recovery. Got up to 11th after running in about 16th, 17th not too long ago. So he's trying. He's giving it all she's got. He's going to need some more help right here as Elliott Carlson is running right behind him in 12th. 13th, Dylan Bates locked into the playoffs. It doesn't really matter to him, but he's currently back here running in 13th. Greg Barnett having a good run in 14th. Matt Clement running in 15th. He has been kind of hanging around that 15th position all night long. But you see some damage on the right side of that 19 no-neck fast repair machine. Mickey Isaac, we saw him in that incident earlier. He is in danger of going a lap down here, but still having a good run in 16th. Spencer Gay running back here in 17th. Josh Oswald having a tough night. You know, somebody that I expect to see up front at a track like this. But Richmond, you know, I think he would probably say Richmond's probably far away from the type of short tracks he loves to race. Richmond's definitely a different style track for sure. But they still expect to see Oswald up near the front. So having a tough night back here in 18th. Daniel Pope, just talked about him. He's a lap down. Not really sure what happened to him. But yeah, not what we expect out of him. But still 5th in the points. Really no danger of dropping out. Brandon Wallace in that 99 Reaper Racing machine. He is running in 20th. Brandon Pollock in 21st. Matt Knights in 22nd. Curtis Auburn in 23rd. Gary Wright, 24th. Tommy Osborne, the last truck on the track.
And we still got Kyle Roberts sitting in the pits, probably finished with his ice cream at this point, but he's still technically on the track too.
Well, we had a pit report. Garrett Kinder down on pit road, caught up with the driver of the 35, Kyle Roberts machine, and said it was, in fact, a Sonic Blast. So,
yeah, that's a solid choice. I would probably pull off the track for one of them too, but fat guy problems with that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Michael Kostick still your leader, 1.1 second lead over his teammate in the 58 truck, Jonathan Cofield. Corey Bigley about 2.5 seconds back from Cofield. So right now, you know, unless there's a caution, Michael Kostick, man, just putting on a clinic. Bandits showing up with a great strategy, seemed to have put in some testing time and came out swinging early, and they never let up.
Yeah, running 1-2 right here. I mean, you can't ask for much more going into the next round of the playoffs. Try to get some good momentum build up. And, I mean, you know, they were both pretty good on points anyway. But, yeah, I mean, just a really good run for both of them here tonight.
12 laps to go. And Michael Kostick going to punch his ticket in. Doesn't matter. He's going to point his way in no matter what. Just a few more laps to go as Telder and Kieran Church battling back here. This is for the 5th position, so trying to get a top 5 out of this. These two non-playoff drivers up here getting with it up front.
Yeah, and they're starting to close in on Cody Boehm a little bit too for 4th place. He's been dropping back a little bit, you know, after he had that battle with Michael Kostick. Still struggling with the handling a little bit on that truck, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's still enough trucks on the track that it could be disaster. So if you start to see yourself fade, you're really pushing hard, knowing that you're trying to get that win and you're not able to do it, then, if you're Cody, you really just kind of say, all right, let me just take my foot off the gas a little bit, play it safe, don't put myself in trouble, and have everything go wrong quickly, as he's only in 6, so it's definitely possible that he fall outside the playoff if something goes wrong. So I think Cody's doing the right thing, letting those guys just take off and just kind of glide his way into the final 8.
Yeah, definitely just racing smart here, making sure he gets it to the end inside of 10 laps to go. You definitely don't want to do anything to take yourself out of it.
Oh, you see Matt Tilder get a little bit of the wall. That was Kieran and Church, either one. But a little bit of contact with the wall there. Matt Tilder getting to the back bumper of that 78 machine.
This guy's having a pretty tight battle right now. They got around Mickey Isaac. It's a lap car. Tilder's still trying to get up here and gain another spot. Looks like he's a little bit faster than Cody. And with the position that Cody's in, I don't think he's going to put up too hard of a fight here. I think he'll just kind of let this play out and live to fight another day.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you can see Matt Tilder's letting the ass in, hang out off the corner. If I'm seeing that in my mirror, I'm like, all right, well, just go ahead and go, brother. just go ahead and I'll let you have it.
Yeah, at that point, you wanted a little bit more than I did. As you see, he's all over the place on the back straightaway, trying to keep that thing in a straight line, trying to get the power down. So, like you said, he's got it hung out there, trying to go 3 wide by himself.
Yeah, getting with it. Love to see that. Up front, no change, though. Michael Kostick still with a 1.8 second lead, but 5 laps to go. Just watching this battle here for 5th as see if Matt Tilder can get that 4th position. Now, Cody probably not aware of the live standings, where exactly he is and where he needs to be. So not really sure if he knows that he's basically locked in if he finishes anywhere in the top 10. So we'll see how hard he fights to try to maintain this spot.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Tilder's kind of stalled out a little bit now that he's gotten to him. He closed in pretty quick, but it seems like that gap's just staying steady here. So not sure if maybe Tilder kind of burned it up a little bit or burned the right rear or both rear tires off of it with the way he's coming off of some of these turns. But Cody's doing a good job of holding his 4th place right now. He looks a little high here going into turn 1 and 2. Try to get a little bit better arc down into the turn and try to get a better run off. Yeah, gap's staying about the same between them.
Yeah, rear tires just like they're just without grip.
Oh, we've got a caution, Eddie.
Oh no! Eric Tracy and Mickey Isaac.
Becker.
Oh Lord, that's not what you want to see if you're Michael Kostick, or I don't think literally anybody else wanted to see that. As you're right, under caution here. I don't think we'll see anybody come down pit road, but let's go back and see what happened here on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind between Mickey Isaac and Eric Tracy. Eric Tracy on the outside. He comes off the corner. And yeah, they just get a little bit too close, and Eric Tracy heads off down to the inside and brings out the caution here. Kostick was just about to take the white flag. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, that could not have been timed any worse for Michael Kostick.
Oh, it just makes you sick. And look here, Cody Boehm comes down pit road along with Matt Tilder, Kieran Church. So we've got some takers down on pit road there, Daniel.
Yeah, this is going to shake things up a little bit. It looks like the field was pretty split here on staying out or pitting. Trying to look on the standings, it looks like I see maybe 5 guys that stayed out, 5 or 6 guys. So yeah, this is going to make things interesting. I mean, you're going to have fresher tires, but you're not going to have a whole lot of time to use them. And thankfully, we only have 2 green-white checker attempts. So, even if you do get a half a lap in and then another one comes out, I mean, you're still not going to have a whole lot of time to make these work.
Yeah, wow, this really makes you nervous. Looking at the standings right now, Elliot Carlson, who is running, he just came down pit road to get 4 tires. Tracy Passon stays out. He's currently running in 5th. You can see up on the standings, and that really shook up. Tracy Passon's about 3 points, and he wasn't going to make it, but now Tracy has some life. And so, wow, what just a single half a straightaway difference there changed everything. Now, Elliot Carlson will have 4 tires. Now, there's a couple drivers, Matt Telder, Sean Cool here. The 1 and the 25 took 2 tires, it looks like. So some different tire strategies. But if you're Elliot Carlson right now, you got to get 3 positions, and you only got this green, white checkered and 1 more. So if it goes caution immediately and you don't make it, and it does that again, he may be in trouble. So he's got a lot of 4 tires in front of him to make up those positions.
You're absolutely right. And the other thing here, too, for Elliot Carlson is he already had to use his fast repair. So if something happens in front of him and he gets a meatball out of it, I mean, his night's over, and that's going to lock Tracy into the next round. So, I mean, even if there are some caution, or even if there is a caution to extend it another lap or so, I mean, you've got to be on your toes to not get caught up in any of this.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, a stressful situation if I'm the 09. And also, if I'm Andy Kurtz or Tracy Passon, it's the same reason. I mean, that point spread is 10 points, and they're still, I mean, at least on the lead lap, there's only 15. So a 15-point swing would take Andy Kurtz out of the championship. So, this is tight. I mean, Cody Bain is still in danger. I think the top 5 are pretty much locked in. I don't think much can move there. But from 6th on back there, I mean, it's anybody's race here. So, and I'm telling you what, this could get wild.
And I'm going to have my eyes on this 09 truck on this restart. He's going to be starting on the outside lane. We'll see if he tries to go up on the high side here in 1 and 2 and make something happen on this restart.
We'll actually do the picture-in-picture with Elliot Carlson there down on the bottom as we watch him try to take those 4 tires and make something with it. Now, what's going on with Tracy? He is the last one on old tires, so what can he do to hang on to that? As green flag is out, Corey Bigley spins the tires, but Michael Kostick is able to get away as we are almost 4 wide as Tracy passes down to the inside, trying to make a move. Oh, and around goes Andy Kurtz. No! Oh, and Tracy passes, almost spins, but caution is out again. Another green-white checkered as Andy Kurtz goes around there. And he is tore up. He's still got a fast repair, so it's not all over for him. But we talked about that, how it could go bad real quick. And look at the championship standings. Andy Kurtz currently out. He's going to have to go down and get that fast repair and make up some positions. He goes around on what he's doing. Don't want that thing to blow up. We still have another green-white checker to do. So Andy Kurtz needs to get down pit road and get that truck fixed. You can see it's all tore up. He still has a fast repair. I don't know what he's doing, Daniel.
And I understand why he didn't pit, because if he comes down there, he's going to have to start behind everybody. I mean, he's going to get an EOL for entering a closed pit. So I get it. You don't want to take that penalty, but it looks like he's going to be able to limp his way back around. But, man, that is a big risk, hoping that engine doesn't blow and leave you stranded where you got a tow.
Ben, yes, 100%. That is super scary, because if it does give way, man, that's it. And we'll go back and watch that on the Kinder Farm Ranch Wreckage Rewind as we watch that wreck from Andy Kurtz's perspective. As he goes down the corner, he's 3 wide. Tracy Passon's trying to get all he can get. You see how tight it was right there, and just comes down, and there was a car there. Man, Matt Clement gets a piece of that, and that's where it all went wrong for Andy Kurtz. So solidly running up in 3rd position, and we'll slow it down here as we watch him go down in the corner and just see guys fighting for every bit of position. I don't think Andy had gotten the spotter call until just that moment, and it was just too late then. And you look at the trucks behind him, it's not like those guys could check up. I mean, look, they're 3 wide behind them.
Yeah, they've got to do what they got to do to keep from getting run over themselves. And, I mean, that's just a product of guys on different tire strategies. I mean, I know that Corey was on the same strategy as Andy Kurtz was, but, you know, he's got to try to do what he can to defend going into that turn, and just, I mean, absolutely unfortunate and brutal for Andy Kurtz what happened there.
Yeah. Still has life in him, though. He's still on the track, and he does have his fastest pair now. He's running in 13th. He only needs to make up one spot on Elliott Carlson, who is now on the bubble. So this last green white checker, I mean, good Lord, we were half a straightaway away from a pretty just kind of whatever finish, and everything was pretty much set in stone the last 60 laps. And then, man, good Lord, how it's changed.
Yeah, that first initial caution that brought out the first green white checker. I mean, I feel like we need the We Know Drama logo up there, Eddie. We've got all kinds of stuff going on right now. I don't know whether to watch the battle for the lead and can the tires make up 4 spots on the last green white checker, to watch Andy, to watch Elliott. Like, we got so much stuff going on here. We need about 4 different screens to keep track of all of it.
Well, I could do 2. So we'll have the screen on Andy Kurtz, as we will watch the lead here as they're getting side by side. Should get the one to go here in just a second. But we'll throw up Andy Kurtz on the picture-in-picture. We watch him try to fight his way back. He only needs to make up a couple spots, because I don't know how the tiebreaker would work. You don't want to be put in a position where you have to rely on a tiebreaker, because I don't think any of us know what that is.
Your pre-race pit reporter over here in the booth with you probably should have done a little bit of research on that to figure it out. So at least we know for the next round, find out what the tiebreaker is.
Yeah, so I just don't rely on the tiebreaker. Make sure that you are solidly a point ahead. And, man, look how tight that is. I mean, we're talking a 4-point swing from 7th to 9th. So it is going to come down to every single position here on this restart. Andy Kurtz starting in 14th. Tracy passes outside that second row. He's not going to get a good start. He's going to get hit from behind. So Tracy passes, getting what happened to Tracy?
Andy Kurtz with a big move down on the inside. He's going to get around Elliott Carlson, but Tracy is just dropping back here.
So what's going on with Tracy? Oh, I think he blew his motor. Oh, my goodness. As he did, the motor is gone, I believe, in the 53 machine, and heartbreak.
Oh, and you got to wonder if he missed a shift on that restart maybe, and that's what caused it.
I think you're right. Oh, is Matt Telder's going to go around here? Final lap, though. This is it. It doesn't matter if the caution comes out, but Michael Kosick able to hang on to it and win and lock himself into the round of 8. Jonathan Cofield, and Sean Cool at the line. Oh, my goodness, Sean Cool is going for a ride. Down the front straightaway is good grief.
I did not see what happened coming across the line there.
Let's go ahead and just rewind it.
All kinds of stuff.
Coming to the checker flag. Looks like Sean Cool just gassed it up. And look at him. You see spinning out, and he hits the wall. And cross the line, he will be second, but it's just mayhem after the fact. And you see there, good grief. Giving his body guy something to think about there.
That's definitely a trip to the infield care center after that one.
Good grief. Well, let's go back and see what happened to Tracy Passons. I mean, if there's a no-neck fastest pair hard luck award winner, that's the one. Man, on that last restart, we'll go back and maybe see if we can see exactly what happened to him as we'll get him on the backstretch. And you see him there, 7,000 RPMs, getting ready to go on the restart.
Looks like he got a good launch. Sure what happened there to him, Eddie.
I don't hear anything going wrong.
It didn't really sound like a missed shift, like going to first instead of third or anything like that. That's just super strange.
Yeah, something was. Is he out of gas?
You might be right, Eddie.
I think he ran out of gas. I think that's exactly what that looks like, the way the RPM gauge is going.
You know, Eddie, I'm wondering if he had the auto fuel checked in his black box when he came in for his stop, because he only went 57 laps. Yep. And if he had the auto fuel checked, it only gives you, by default, a 1-lap cushion, so that green-white checker would have run him out of gas if that was the case.
Unbelievable. I think you are 100% right. He is out of fuel there, and that's what happened to Tracy Passons. And that cost him a chance at the top 8. You're absolutely right. Oh, my God. Heartbreak for Tracy Passons. I mean, he was in a great position. It was between Andy Kurtz and Elliott Carlson before that restart. I mean, Tracy had done everything right to get up front, and that right there ended it for him. So, my gosh, we got to throw this up, no doubt about it, man. We know drama here at Rebel Racing Network, and that was you got your money's worth, and you didn't pay a dime.
Yeah, that was some really hard racing, a lot to watch, and just, I mean, you said it. If there's ever a more deserving recipient of the hard luck award, it's definitely Tracy Passons tonight. That's just absolutely heartbreaking for him the way it ended.
Oh yeah, I mean, golly, that is tough, no doubt about it. As well, let's go ahead and get some interviews going here, and we're gonna start with our winner and driver that punched himself into the final 8. As we get the post race up here, we'll bring him in channel, talk to him. We'll start with Michael Kostick. Michael, this Eddie and Daniel in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, congratulations, dude. A fantastic race. As man, I mean, just impressive. I don't think anybody expected you to come out here, because we know how good those SPM guys are at at short tracks, but I don't think anybody expected you to come out here and just completely dominate this race. It wasn't easy. Had a couple green white checkers there at the end, but overall, just dominated this thing from start to finish. How'd you do it, man?
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm not usually not that good here in the trucks, but I was just trying to not burn the right front up, and once I got out front, I could control my line a little bit more. That probably helped with tire saving, but yeah, that last caution came out. I was a little upset. I think I was about 10 feet from the finish line.
Yeah, and talk about that whenever that happens. I mean, you know that you were in on points, so you didn't really need a win. But we saw at the end, and if you go back and watch this, you'll see the chaos that ensued behind you with all the cutoff of the points and folks going and coming. What in your head, what are you thinking of on those last 2 green white checkers to make sure that you can maybe you don't have to win, but just protect yourself and not be facing the wrong direction there and have it all go wrong?
Just drive hard, but try not to overdrive it. I knew if I could get a good start, it'd be a little bit easier, but I seen Cool coming up on the outside there on that last lap. Got me a little bit nervous.
Well, you were still able to get it done, and man, punch your ticket into the round of 8, and you got to feel good about your chances. But just talk about you guys and your, I mean, what statement does Bandits Motorsports make tonight after this race?
I don't know. I'd like to think that we can win anywhere regardless, but them SPM guys are definitely tough to beat on the short tracks. But yeah, I don't know. Just go out and keep driving hard.
Well, driving hard tonight, that's what you did, and you come home with the win. So congratulations to you. As always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout-outs?
Yeah, thank you guys in the booth for doing the broadcast. Brandon Wallace for putting on the league, Hardline Transport Solutions, and my teammates at Bandits.
Well, there you have it. Michael Kostick comes home with the victory tonight, and he will go continue playoff racing as he is in the final 8, and we'll get caught up with our second place finisher, Sean Cool. I think Daniel is caught up with him, maybe, if we can find him.
I'm trying to locate him here. Oh, never mind. I found him. Let me move him up here. Sean Cool, this is Daniel and Eddie up in the booth. You got us?
I do. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, man. Well, that was some finish that you put on there. I mean, you made a hell of a charge there at the end of that to get second place. Just tell us a little bit about your race. What were you fighting tonight? What did you need to try to get around the 8 truck?
A lot. Man, tonight was rough. I run VR, and I cannot. This tonight was the worst that it's ever happened. Normally, I have this stutter since I got this new headset that uh, is manageable normally, but still sucks. And tonight, it was like looking through strobe light in a party or something. It was terrible. I was a dart without feathers all night. Couldn't do anything right. So I just got lucky with a caution about midway after pitting and being able to use some tires to try to keep myself in it and hope for a caution to get lucky. I got it and was like 6th or 7th for a little while there. And at the end, those guys didn't come down to get tires, which I knew was, I thought was a mistake. And so I just put 2 on, try to get ahead of a couple guys and see what would happen. So I held it to the floor in the last couple laps and hoped she stuck.
Well, you definitely did a good job driving up there and getting to second. I mean, you were already locked into the playoffs, didn't really have anything to lose tonight by trying something a little bit different. Looks like next round we've got Atlanta, Old Atlanta, Bristol, and Kansas. How do you feel about your chances with the next 3 races coming up?
Yeah, so I got a replacement, a backup coming for this headset. So that should be resolved here pretty quick. And then once that issue's solved, Bristol is a great place. Atlanta will be a great place. Honestly, everything that's left on this calendar is or on the schedule is really, really good for me. The only one that's maybe a question is Charlotte, but I feel like that's one I'll be able to pick up. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for Atlanta. Should be a driver's track. Bristol will be right in our wheelhouse, like tonight kind of should have been. So I'm excited. I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, definitely. Well, good job again tonight. Solid run, finish in second place there with the tire strategy at the end. And as always, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank, shout out, sponsors, anything like that?
I want to thank I want to thank my SPM guys, Daniel Pope and Eric Elliott, Dylan, and Corey, all the guys that we run with here every week. I want to thank the guys that I want to thank Matt for commissioning the league and everyone that puts it on. You guys up in the booth. And one thing I do want to say is I was probably a real thorn in Jonathan Cofield's side for quite a while. So I just want to apologize to him dealing with the stuttering that I was dealing with. I was really a dart without feathers in the beginning there, and it was to his detriment a lot. So apologies there, but thank you to everybody that lets this keeps us racing every week.
Right. Well, there you have it from second place finisher Sean Cool. And Eddie, it looks like we have got third place finisher Kieran Church lined up.
Yeah, Kieran and this Eddie in the booth got a copy.
I got you.
Man, well, a pretty nice race, fun race. You were kind of hanging around the top 5 for most of the night, and then there at the end had a decision to come down and take those tires, and you were able to make the best of it and come home with a third place finish. What a great showing up there racing these guys, not in the playoffs, but man, you seem like you're racing like you are one, and just close to being able to get up there, and maybe snagging this win at the end. What else you need tonight to maybe get up there and battle for maybe the lead?
I mean, I was probably just third to sixth fastest all night. I didn't get too many laps in, and I was burning off the right front that second to last run when I finally got the track position back from qualifying. I was just trying to make sure everybody that was in for the points, I was racing them clean, giving them room. At the beginning, I just wanted to let them by single file, and if I was faster, then just start making those moves and then picking them off. And the only chance I had to go for that win is when I seen they didn't pit, was to take those tires, and pray to God I didn't get in a crash and made some moves. And fortunately for Tracy, I think he ran out of fuel on that start and jacked up Cody in front of me, and I just got to the outside and sent it from there.
Well, a fantastic run out of you, and you got one of the best schemes in the night. And I tell you what, I'm gonna jump in front of Daniel Cunningham, and I'm gonna give you the Jet Pod Junior best paint of the night. So that's my favorite blue. So love that paint scheme. It is a fantastic one. It just looks so good on that truck. So congratulations on that. But man, you're out here racing your guts out, and not in the playoffs, but that's not stopping you. How are you looking forward to the next few races to get up there and race with these guys?
I don't even know what the next few races are, but I probably won't be. If it's big tracks, I'm not really the best at big tracks. I just you could tell from my Kansas race at the Grand National on Friday, short tracks is where I feel more comfortable. So that's why I could feel more consistent running these tracks. So we'll see. I just try to make sure I run these guys clean, just like I did in ARCA. I didn't want to do anything stupid in that with the playoff guys. Make sure they finish where they deserve.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations, Kieran, on a third place finish. You still have a Grand National championship to go win. So, man, congratulations on a great night as always. Who you got to thank? Any sponsors, shout outs?
I got to thank everybody at Velocity Motorsports, SPM. I know this paint one, so if you're interested in getting a paint done, Jet Designs did this paint. Great job on all my paints. You for doing the broadcast. Great to go back and watch, and just everybody that's part of the league. It's fun to run these races.
Well, there you have it. Third place finisher, Kieran Church, and man, we got a disappointing fellow waiting in the wings. Going to talk to him and get his feelings on the race. But your No Neck Fast Repair Hard Luck Award winner is Tracy Passons. Tracy, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, Eddie?
Man, well, you know what? Tough way to end the season. I mean, the season's not over, but your bid at the championship. Just wanted to bring you in here and talk to you about that last thing. We've theorized and we've kind of come up with the idea that you ran out of fuel there on that restart. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I had that dang auto field checked. I don't know how to get it off. And when I come in the last time, it just gave me what I needed just to just for one green flag checker. And I looked down, I said, oh my goodness, I'm fixing to run out of gas when I felt it sputter.
Well, man, you did everything right. You had a tough first part of the race, kind of running around 16th, 15th or so, just right outside the top 10. And there at the end with some pit strategy, just the way things worked out at the end. I mean, you were 50 feet away from being out for sure. And, man, then that caution came out, just had new life into your bid to get back into the top 8. And unfortunately, there on that restart just missed it. But I just wanted to bring you up here and talk to you about your season. While it's not over, you still can go out there and win races. You won't be able to run for the championship, but just want to talk about the season and just congratulate you on a fantastic season. The top 12 that were in the playoffs are some of the best drivers I've ever run against. So, and that includes you. And so definitely don't hold your head down, because I think you definitely, I mean, just the dice rolled just the right way, and you're sitting atop these standings. So you're in great company. I think it was a hell of a season. So just wanted to congratulate you and talk to you and just see what your thoughts were on the season, and kind of reflect back on the season that you've had so far.
Yeah, I've enjoyed running, and the main thing is the competition is good, and I try every time I get in here to do better. And my main concern is not do something stupid and wreck somebody. And I hope the people that's in there has good luck, and may the best man win.
Well, all right, Tracy. Well, I'm a big fan of Tracy Passes, I'll tell you that. And so I'm sorry that happened the way that it did, but just wanted to get your thoughts on it, and looking forward to see if you can go up there and get you some wins for the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And y'all have a good night, and we'll see you, okay?
All righty.
All
That's
right,
Tracy.
take care.
All right, Tracy Passons with a disappointing finish there at the end, missing out on the playoff by 9 points when he ran out of gas on that green-white checkered. Go talk to Elliot Carlson. They got Elliot in the waiting room, and I think, Daniel, you caught up with him?
Yes, sir. I've got Elliot Carlson in the booth with us. And Elliot, this is Daniel and Eddie up in the booth. You got us?
Gotcha. Do you got me?
Well, man, your night was like a roller coaster. You had that trouble early, and it looked like you pretty well, near the end of the race, had it locked up that you were going to advance over Tracy, and then the green-white checker just threw everything for a loop. I mean, just how are you feeling throughout the night? Were you really thinking about it a whole lot, or just trying to focus on the task at hand, or you just talk a little bit about it?
Trying to focus on the task at hand. I know the getting wrecked early, which that was just a net code issue. Getting wrecked early kind of put me in a weird spot. So I was able to drive back through the field following Dylan, but there was a issue in front of us, and after I got damaged the second time, after using my fast repair, I just was focused on trying to get a decent finish. I was debating whether to run long or not, which I did, and I don't think I should have, hindsight, but I still made it in.
And then on that green white checker, the first attempt when the pit stops were happening before that, what was your thought process as far as coming down and pitting? Because we saw Tracy stayed out, and we saw Andy Kurtz stayed out, trying to do something a little bit different. Were you really thinking more so about what they were doing and just trying to race against them specifically, or were you more so just trying to do what you thought was best for yourself at that point, just to be on the attack more?
Well, honestly, I can't believe those guys stayed out. My first thought was, all right, we're all going to pit, and I'm going to take two, and I'm going to get as far forward as I can because I did some practice earlier, and the left sides didn't really wear that much. But then when a bunch of them stayed out, I changed it up to take four because I figured there'd be some issues like there were, and I figured just give myself as much grip as possible to be on the offense.
Well, I have a question real quick if I could jump in, Daniel. Did you know on that last green white checker, did you know that you were out? Did you feel that, or were you just kind of hoping for the best?
Honestly, I had your broadcast pulled up.
Okay.
But I race the VR, so I flipped open my my right headphone, and I could hear that, and I was like, all right, I need 3 spots. So I told my teammate Eric Tracy in front of me, I was like, you got to go, man. So yeah, I was using your guys's. I heard you on the broadcast, so I knew what I needed to do.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming here and talking to us. I know it's kind of weird, but just there was so much excitement there at the end at the cutoff, and you were able to squeak in there by 9 points over Tracy. So, man, congratulations, and looking forward to see what you do at the end of this season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, all right. Well, our last interview of the night, I know y'all wore out. I know I am too, and I'm sure Daniel is. Let's talk to Andy Kurtz. He was kind enough to come back in here. Andy, this is Eddie and Daniel in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, what's up? Gotcha.
Man, appreciate you coming back in here. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit because you're right there on the edge of missing the final 8, and man, so frustrating there at the end. You were pretty solidly in, and then that green white checkered, and then you get spun. What are your thoughts immediately when you're sitting backwards, you're getting clobbered by guys coming through there, and you see that smoke coming out of that truck? What are your thoughts at that moment?
Yeah, not definitely not where I want to be, but I totally understand. I mean, you got guys on new tires behind us. I almost pit it when everyone else did, but I decided to stay out because I figured we'd probably be able to hold them for 2 laps, and I'd hopefully just be able to finish far enough ahead to make the next round. So I was just hoping to hang on, and yeah, just unfortunately got tagged. I think we were 3 wide there, so part of it. Green white checkered, so sort of expect some beating and banging. So it's all good. And fortunately, there weren't many guys on the lead lap anyway, so I didn't really fall back too much and figured I'd have a pretty good shot at. I only needed a couple spots to make the round. So all in all, worked out. It's all good.
Well, just Elliot Carlson said he was watching the broadcast, so he knew how many points he needed. I mean, there was a point where you were out, especially once you got tagged and went around. And you went in, like you said, 15 cars on the lead lap, and you got those tires and able to drive up there and get, you actually came home in 7th when Tracy ran out of gas on that last green white checkered. So just want to say congratulations, and obviously just want to talk to you about that, because I know it's stressful. When you're doing that, you get stressed out, and you go, man, I was up there in 3rd place, and now I'm back here, and I'm out of the playoffs. It just it was so dramatic up here in the booth, and it was so much fun to watch. But yeah, man, you're able to move on to the top 8. How you feeling now? You're able to get kind of hold, catch your breath now and moving forward into the round of 8. How you feeling about going forward here?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the schedule now. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I had a pretty rough race last week at Auto Club, so definitely put myself in a sort of a hole. I know I'm really bad at Richmond, so I was happy with the top 10, but I knew I needed to do my best and not get caught up in anything there. So really happy to move on here. I love Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta. Bristol's awesome. Kansas is awesome. And so is Charlotte. So I'm feeling much better about the next couple races. So hope to keep the momentum going.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations to you, man. Congratulations moving on to the next round, and way to keep your head up after that spin. We were so worried you were going to blow your motor and you weren't going to be able to make it back around. It was a stressful moment because, I'll admit, I pretty much I cheer for everybody. There's not anybody I don't want to see move on, but to see you kind of go out of the playoffs on that moment, I was definitely cheering for you to get down pit road and get that fast repair. Because I was so worried that motor was going to give out before you got back. But you're able to get it done, and man, so congratulations. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the playoffs, Andy. Thanks for coming back and talking to us.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Talk to you later.
There you have it. Your 7th place finisher in the playoffs of the round of 12. He'll move on and race to try to make it into the Final Four. My goodness. Well, Daniel, it was a good race. There was a lot to talk about, but man, at the end, did it really deliver on the drama and the dramatic with the cutoff race there and with the couple green white checkers.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, we thought that everything was pretty much wrapped up, sewed up, whatever you want to say, that everything was set and we knew what was going to happen. And you get one caution that comes out right before the leader takes the white flag. And I mean, then just all hell breaks loose after that. But man, that was entertaining to watch. Just a roller coaster of emotions for so many people. Because I mean, I'm like you. I don't really have people that I root against, but there's definitely people that you want to see do well and you want to see move on. And Tracy is one of them for me. I mean, he's always been a good guy to race against and hang out and chat with, and then to see that happen to him. And I mean, I know how he feels. I've been bit by the auto fuel a couple times. It got me at Motegi and Grand National earlier this season. And you hate to see it come down to something like that, where it's a kind of new feature and something that's still a little glitchy on iRacing, or the people haven't, quite gotten down the mechanics of it. But man, just a lot of good racing there all night long, and it definitely delivered at the end too.
Yeah. Well, we will talk to all the playoff drivers next week and get their feelings on it. But just wanted to talk to a few drivers tonight that were really in the mix of this thing. I had to restart my ATVO, but I showed James Nelson with 16 positions he gained since the start. Is that what you got?
I am seeing the same thing.
All right. Well, there you have it. That is your Dark Horse Motorsports Hard Charger Award winner. So congratulations to James Nelson, who was able to make up 16 spots from where he started, and comes home with the 7th position after those couple green white checkers. So congratulations and thanks to Dark Horse Motorsports for that Hard Charger Award win tonight. So man, what a great race. Looking forward to see how this is going to play out as always, and we'll take a look at the schedule, and we'll see next week. Legacy Atlanta, love to see that, and Legacy Atlanta, Bristol, Kansas, and Charlotte. Probably 4 of the best tracks that you can have in the truck. So I think the rest of the season is going to be a blast. So, all right, guys. Well, I think we said all that needs to be said. We've interviewed enough people, and I think we'll call it a night. So, I want to thank everybody, all of our sponsors, Matt Clement, Hardline Transport Solutions, obviously, for their sponsorship of the Truck Series, Chuck Pegleg, Kinder Farm and Ranch for the Wreckage Rewind, Jeff by Junior Art, Dark Horse Motorsports, and we'll see y'all next week. Oh, and Flexible Freight Solutions. Anyway, see y'all later. We missed the dismount. Bye.